Tonight at 10, COVID-19 hitting home on the Gulf Coast. We are now sharing our newscast with our sister station, WEAR, due to the spread of the virus. Sue Strawn from Channel 3 News is live in Pensacola right now. Hey, Sue.
Hi, Andrea. Well, as you can tell, our newscast is taking on a bit of a different look tonight, and it will for the next several days. 2 WEAR TV employees tested positive for COVID-19. Out of an abundance of caution and to protect our employees, we are now suspending all in-studio broadcasts of our news. All the news operations will continue with the help of our colleagues at WPMI, and we will continue to keep you connected on air and online. Now, those 2 cases, in fact, are now in the numbers for the state of Florida. Florida today reporting 12,350 positive cases of COVID-19. Of those, 10.6% of the tests came back positive of 114,000 cases that were tested. And a little over 3,000 tests are out of Northwest Florida. In Northwest Florida particularly, we have 125 cases in Escambia, 55 in Santa Rosa, 62 in Okaloosa, and 23 cases in Walton County. All of those numbers holding steady, with the exception of Santa Rosa that posted an additional 2 cases from yesterday morning. Andrea?
Sue, thank you. Let's take a look now at the latest numbers here in Alabama. Cases continue to soar tonight. The Alabama Department of Public Health confirmed at least 31 people have died from the illness statewide. Here in Mobile County, 5 people have died and at least 127 people are infected. 34 cases in Baldwin County and 1 reported death there. Those numbers will continue to rise as testing becomes available across our areas. Tonight, there is a stay-at-home order in effect in Alabama, but there are exceptions, and many took advantage of one tonight to thank our healthcare workers. Tonight at Spring Hill Medical Center, a drive-in worship service.
We ask all this in your powerful name. Amen.
Prayer and praise and worship music broadcast on 92.5 to a packed parking lot.
All the staff, all the patients, just know that you're loved and that you're appreciated everywhere.
Maddie Ruth and her mom, Shelley, say they came tonight because they want healthcare workers to know how much our community cares for them.
I love all of them and appreciate everything they do.
Drive-in worship services like this are allowed under the governor's stay-at-home order, though the order states people must stay in their cars and be 6 feet from participants in other cars.
I believe that prayer is a powerful thing.
Lifting those on the front lines up in prayer ahead of the agonizing weeks to come.
So stay strong. We're going to make it.
Last night at 10, we told you about USA Children's and Women's Hospital nurses asking the community for mask donations. Since our story aired, several people have contacted them, but the hospital is still in need. Because of the shortage of personal protective equipment, some nurses are making their own masks.
So we need to make sure that we all stay safe and stay healthy and have enough masks to do that.
Surrounding hospitals are also calling on donations. We have a list of contact information for each hospital on our website at mynbc15.com. The Mobile Police Department is asking for personal protective equipment donations as well. A spokesperson says with more than 400 officers using PPE, there's always a need for gloves, masks, and hand sanitizer. Because of this, local businesses have donated 16,000 gloves and 40 gallons of rubbing alcohol to Mobile Police. I Love Nails and spa owner Linda Wen says now is the time to help our first responders and nurses.
I don't need the gloves and I don't need the mask, so I just donated to them because I realized they need it more. And right now they need the first responder and the nurse and the doctor needs it to save lives and save themselves.
If you would like to make a donation, you can drop it off at Mobile Police Headquarters. We have new information tonight about the first COVID-19 death in Escambia County, Florida. The woman's family wants the community to know the threat of this virus is very real. Let's go back live to Pensacola. Sue Strawn has more on that family's emotional story. Sue?
Emotional, heart-wrenching, Andrea, is exactly what it is. The family obviously not wanting to be identified as they prepare to bury their loved one. It is always a difficult thing to say goodbye to a loved one, but it's much more challenging in these times when oftentimes families don't even have the opportunity to be with them in their last hours.
Until it hits you personally, you just don't understand how tragic this is. This is a real disease, and it's killing real people right here in Pensacola.
Just 2 days after being diagnosed is all it took for the coronavirus to claim the life of a 75-year-old woman in Escambia County.
We were very shocked that she passed away so quickly, because a week before she was eating grilled cheese sandwiches and banana popsicles, and then she's gone.
Now the family is preparing for a funeral.
We're having to go through a lot of the legal process now. No one's ever died from this in Escambia County, and the funeral home is kind of in the same situation we are. They don't know how to proceed.
The family and the funeral director are seeking guidance from the CDC and Department of Health to ensure they're following the proper protocols.
My mother's not a number on somebody's list. She's a real person.
Now the daughter tells me they might have to wait 2 weeks before a funeral is held, so family members can also be tested for COVID-19. An emergency graveside service with social distancing might also be an option.
And of course, the daughter is saying that she is hopeful that by sharing their story, that others will remember to adhere to the CDC guidelines about social distancing and also the safer at home initiatives, the order that was put in place by the governor. The Escambia County School District is now suspending 11 of its feeding sites. The changes were made because they have a number of other locations that are providing meals for children 18 and under that are very close to those schools. Any family in need of breakfast and lunch, it's a grab-and-go situation. We have a complete list of all of those sites on our website, WEARTV.com.
Tonight, the Washington County School Board has pushed back its feeding and packet program that was supposed to start tomorrow. NBC 15's Rachel Wilkerson spoke to the superintendent today. Rachel, Washington County, just the latest county to postpone.
That's right, Andrea. The superintendent says its main priority is safety, and right now, postponing was the best option.
We're trying to balance between priorities here. We've got hungry children and we've got a pandemic of coronavirus.
Superintendent John Dickey says right now employees have a lack of personal protective equipment. He says the school board is stocking up on hand sanitizer and disinfectant wipes for the safety of the employees and families, but is having a hard time finding masks and gloves. They've ordered some supplies, but it hasn't all come in yet.
Without the proper equipment and supplies, we couldn't go forward with it.
An employee reached out to NBC 15 concerned about delivering meals and academic packets to children at this time. Dickey says while that's a concern, he's also concerned about the hundreds of children affected.
I'm really concerned about feeding the children in Washington County that need it, that are hungry, and depend on the school system for a lot of their meals. But I'm also very concerned about the health and safety of our employees.
While the future of the programs is up in the air, he says the community has stepped up tremendously.
We partnered with several churches around the district, and they have delivered hundreds and hundreds of meals to our students that need them.
Last week, Escambia County School Board suspended its food distributions in Atmore, Flomaton, and Bruton to abide by Governor Kay Ivey's stay-at-home order. Birmingham schools have also canceled theirs. However, Mobile County Public School System's food delivery program is still operating.
Our plans are subject to change not only day by day, but by the hour.
Superintendent Dickey says if the school board can't get the bus delivery system up and running as planned, it may look into seeing if local churches would still be willing to deliver. We, of course, will keep you updated. Andrea.
Rachel, thank you. After standing empty for 2 weeks, the medical tent set up at Ladd Peoples Stadium went into use Thursday as first responders were tested there. The site opens to the public tomorrow, but you need to call ahead for an appointment. We have that information on our website. There's also a growing list of other testing locations across our area. For a closer look at the sites closest to you and what you need to do before you go, visit mynbc15.com and click on the coronavirus section. Still ahead tonight, covering the outbreak. We're following developing news out of both Alabama and Florida right now.
America bracing for a devastating week. I'm Christine Frizzell with more on why some in the White House say they also see glimmers of hope.
Unseasonably warm temperatures and an unsettled weather pattern as we kick off a brand new work week. I'm going to step you through your hour-by-hour forecasts coming up.
Salute to our veterans. Sponsored by Navigator Credit Union, guiding the Gulf Coast since 1939.
NBC 15 is giving a salute to our veterans. Tonight, we honor Staff Sergeant Carter Parker Jr., who served in the U.S. Army. He lost his life during the Vietnam War. He was from Monroeville. Thank you for your service and for giving the ultimate sacrifice. Staff Sergeant Carter Parker Jr. We are continuing our extensive coverage of the coronavirus pandemic. And again, our newscast will be looking a little different over the next few days. More on that in just a moment. But first, let's take a look at the latest numbers of COVID-19 cases in Alabama. There are more than 1,800 people infected with the virus and at least 31 people have died. Let's go back now to Sue Strawn. She's live in Pensacola with the latest from Florida. Sue?
Thank you very much, Andrea. Pensacola Mayor Grover Robinson is still under a self-quarantine at this hour. His son tested positive for COVID-19. The mayor was subsequently tested, but his results came back negative. Tomorrow, the mayor will be hosting his weekly press conference, but he'll be doing it in a virtual realm, if you would. That will be at 9:30. You'll be able to watch it here on Channel 3, and you can also watch it online at WEARTV.com. Well, this pandemic, as you can well imagine, has canceled a lot of things, and blood drives being one of them. And that is leaving us with a critical need for blood. But there's one venue that is stepping up to make a difference and to help. It is called the Live Oak Plantation. Now, typically they're a wedding venue, but they're going to be hosting a blood drive this Wednesday. The American Red Cross of Northwest Florida has been looking for some facilities that were large enough to allow them to practice the safe distancing, and they found it at Live Oak. They'll be limiting the drive to 45 donors, and they do have a few spots remaining. The registration is open at the American Red Cross website. The drive will run, again, it's Wednesday from 1 till 6. Live Oak Plantation hopes to host more blood drives as the need persists. Andrea?
Sue, thanks. Tonight, America braces for the worst in terms of coronavirus-related deaths and hospitalizations nationwide. But there is a small bit of good news. In the words of President Trump, a light at the end of the tunnel. Sinclair national correspondent Christine Frizzell brings us up to speed.
We are beginning to see the glimmers of progress.
In the midst of a crisis, the smallest signs of hope. The curve of coronavirus cases heading down in Spain and Italy after 4 weeks of mitigation there.
Where we see finally new cases and deaths declining, it's giving us hope of what our future could be.
Also today, a one-day drop in deaths in New York, which Governor Andrew Cuomo cautioned against reading too much into.
The number of deaths over the past few days has been dropping for the first time. What is the significance of that? It's too early to tell.
President Trump, though, trying to stay positive.
We're starting to see light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully in the not too distant future, we'll be very proud of the job we all did.
It was a far different tone than what we heard earlier in the day when the U.S. Surgeon General warned the week ahead could be one of the worst in this country's history when it comes to loss of life.
The next week is going to be our Pearl Harbor moment. It's going to be our 9/11 moment. It's going to be the hardest moment for many Americans in their entire lives.
Hospitals remain overwhelmed, with all 50 states touched by this. The global rate now reaching 182 countries as citizens around the world brace for the unknown of what's next. I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
NBC 15 weather with meteorologist Kelly Foster, certified most accurate forecast by Weather Rate.
After spot showers this morning, we had enough sun breaks that we had a bright finish to your Palm Sunday. Take a look. We're going to continue to watch this front that is hung up to our north and west. It's not going to be moving. It's going to keep our area in the warm sector. Temperatures are going to be skyrocketing this week into the upper 80s. Some parts of our viewing area will be flirting with 90. We need the rain, and we're going to get some showers. It's going to be an unsettled pattern, but we're not going to have one day that we're just going to have a washout. We need one, though. Take a look. We're at a moderate drought right now from Pensacola to Pascagoula in Mobile County. That moderate drought goes all the way to Saraland and Baldwin County all the way to Bay Minette. Notice the winds right now relatively calm in Mobile. That's a look at the Beltline. We could see a little patchy fog develop overnight. We are going to have a rainmaker arrive on Tuesday. It's just going to be a piece of energy that will enhance our rain coverage. And we're not going to have a front swinging through, but we are going to continue to expand the heat for the work week, and we're just going to get stuck in this unsettled pattern all the way through Friday. Rain coverage at 10% Monday, 40% Tuesday, 30% Wednesday through Friday. As you can see, showers enter into Mobile County at noon Tuesday. By 5 o'clock, more wet weather from Lucedale into northern Mobile County, and then you can see by Wednesday, that's going to be the warmest day of the week. We get somewhat of a break. 82 degrees will be the high temperature for your Monday in Mobile, 80 for Summerdale, 77 in Orange Beach. Taking a look at the Florida Panhandle, Pensacola, we're going to hit 77 degrees, 82 Molino, Milton, and 83 for the Crestview area. So keep that in mind. Spiking in the upper 80s Wednesday, 86 by Thursday. Those are going to be the hottest days of the week. And as you can see, red sky at night, sailors delight. Want to thank Kelly Allen for that beautiful sunset pic over Mobile Bay. There is your 7-day tracker. Spiking in the upper 80s Wednesday. We're back to seasonal by late week as a front finally moves through the area. Easter Sunday looking bright with upper 70s. We'll be back.
As the search for treatment and cures escalates for the coronavirus, Full Measure got an inside look at the U.S. Army Medical Command.
The Laboratory Response Network can take an unknown and can develop or can determine what the agent is. So this gentleman is doing cell culture in a BSL-3 laboratory.
What does that mean in layman's terms?
So BSL stands for biosafety level. BSL-3 is the same laboratory that is used for coronavirus.
When you say you have samples of coronavirus, what are you hoping to do with them?
We take that virus and run assays against it, so we can use it to make diagnostics. We can use it to to screen against therapeutics. So what we can do is we have an extensive library of therapeutics. We call them small molecules, so that's pieces of the drugs that might have action against that virus.
Stuff that could be made into medicine.
Absolutely. So we will take those small molecules, we will test them again in cell culture against the virus and see if there's any activity, any antiviral activity against a particular virus that we're studying, in this case the coronavirus. USAMRIID is the only DoD laboratory that has BSL-4 capabilities. So this gentleman is working in BSL-4 conditions. So what you can see there is he has what's called a suit on that has air coming in, and it's a positive pressure suit. This is how we communicate with these folks, because
oh, you have to write a letter?
Oh yeah, because a lot of noise associated with working in BSL-4.
What related to coronavirus is going on right now at this lab?
So we try to create animal models that mimic the disease the way it behaves in humans, so that you can then either study vaccines or you can study drugs, therapeutics, that have action against the coronavirus.
Will Fort Detrick be conducting vaccine studies for coronavirus?
We will.
When an emergency like this happens, how does the pace and the operation of a place like this change quickly? What's happened here?
So we're always on the outlook for emerging infectious diseases. So we're always very busy, but when something like this comes along and we have a pandemic, we have a national emergency, the effort just doubles up. I mean, we're working around the clock to develop these animal models to be able to start the studies on vaccines and therapeutics against the coronavirus.
The scientists at Fort Detrick say they're working on.
Thanks so much for watching, everyone.